today's show. In today's show, we've got a renowned, prominent businessman, Mr. Benson Muneri. He's here to talk to us in terms of how did he manage to bring Barcelos into Zimbabwe. Barcelos is a well-known brand, an international brand. Mr. Muneri, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Muneri, we are happy to have you on the program today. Before we can talk about Barcelos in Zimbabwe, we want to know who is Mr. Muneri as a businessman.
Thank you, Shepard. It's a pleasure to be here. Benson Muneri is a Zimbabwean entrepreneur by right who has been in the business for the last 22 years in terms of hospitality. I started off in Zimbabwe in the late 90s, early 90s, mid-90s, somewhere there, in the same industry that I am now. I've been away for the last 22 years in South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia, doing the same thing with bigger brands, offering similar things that we are doing at the moment. We are proudly Zimbabwean. We have now managed to bring Barcelos flame grilled chicken into Zimbabwe through a master franchisee from South Africa. At the moment, we've got 3 stores in Zimbabwe, which we have opened over the last 2 years.
Thank you very much for that. Now, Mr. Muneri, how did you manage to bring such a renowned brand into Zimbabwe? Why Barcelos?
Barcelos Flame Grilled Chicken is an established brand in about 14 countries worldwide. It's extremely established in South Africa. We've got a strong following of Zimbabwean clientele in our branches in Limpopo region and Gauteng. There was demand for something different and new. Our customers kept speaking to us through the social media, requesting us to be in Zimbabwe. So when the new dispensation came on board, we thought it was an ideal opportunity to be back home, investing in Zimbabwe and seeing what the Zimbabwean market is all about.
Mr. Muneri, before we can go to the first break of the show, now I would want to find out from you, we may be having people who are watching this show, they may want to know what sort of menus that they can expect if they are to visit Barcelos.
Barcelos Flame Grilled Chicken is a Portuguese-styled peri-peri chicken. We firstly specialize in all chicken meals. We've got a meal for one, for quarter chicken. We've got a meal for families. We've got a traditional flame grilled burgers. We've got the chicken livers. We've got the chicken wings. And we've got the kiddies offering as well for the kiddies drumsticks and kiddies kebab. Mostly it's peri-peri chicken, available in 3 different flavors: tangy lemon, mild peri-peri, and very peri-peri. And for the super hot fans, we also have our super peri-peri, which is extremely hot, but it's flame grilled chicken at its best.
Viewers of Entrepreneurship TV, we are going for a very short break. We have been talking to Benson Muneri, who is an entrepreneur, the man who has managed to bring Barcelos to Zimbabwe. Stay tuned, we're just going to go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking to Mr. Muneri. Viewers of Entrepreneurship TV, welcome back. We still have got Mr. Muneri on the show, a man who has managed to bring Barcelos to Zimbabwe. He has talked to us in terms of how did he manage to bring it. Now he's going to continue talking to us in terms of what are the future plans for Barcelos. Mr. Muneri, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Muneri, earlier on you've spoken to us in terms of how you managed to bring Barcelos to Zimbabwe. Now we would want to know from you, what is the current location of your branch network?
The first store that we opened in Zimbabwe is in Bulawayo. It's in Jason Moyo, number 81, adjacent to the TV sales and hire along 8th Avenue in Bulawayo CBD. The second store we opened is along Kwame Nkrumah and 2nd Street in Harare CBD as well, at the Total Filling Station. And the third store we opened is Joiner City on the food court, right above the first floor, shop number 112. It's right in the food court where everybody else is in Joiner City, Harare. So there's 2 branches in Harare and 1 branch in Bulawayo as we speak.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Muneri. Now, somebody who may be watching may want to know, what are your future plans? Where are you going to open your next branches?
We've got a 5-year rollout plan for Barcelo's Flame Grilled Chicken in Zimbabwe. We were hoping in the next 5 years we'll be open, would have opened about 10 outlets. If we want to be in all major cities, Gweru, Kwekwe, Kadoma, Shabane, Mutare, Manicaland, that's the Manicaland side of things, Victoria Falls, and we also wanted to have 1 or 2 stores in the border towns like Bedbridge. The plan is to roll out 10 stores in the next 2-3 years. It's a 5-year plan, which we have already 2 years spent into the 5-year plan already. The whole idea is to be in every major town in Zimbabwe.
Thanks very much for that, Mr. Muneri. Now, my last question on Barcelo's focuses on a lot of your customers and clients would find themselves spending their hard-earned money. Why should they spend it on Barcelos?
Okay, thank you, Shepard. Yes, we do have a lot of Zimbabweans who are supporting us. We've got a lot of loyal customers who are giving us valuable feedback on a daily basis. The whole idea of Barcelos is about flame grilled piri-piri chicken, which we are doing our utmost best to provide nothing but the best flame grilled to absolute perfection. At the moment, we are getting feedback that the customers have well received us in Zimbabwe. The service has been great, the stores are clean, the look and feel is beautiful, it's world class, and we are happy to be and excited to be in Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muneri. Now we have heard everything about Barcelos. My last question, without focusing on Barcelos, is going to focus on you as an entrepreneur. Zimbabwe is a tricky economy. As a business person, what sort of advice would you want to give to other entrepreneurs for them to survive this environment?
Shepard, every economy is tricky. Even the most established economies are also tricky in their own way. Zimbabwe presents you with a challenge because economically everything shifts on a daily basis. It requires you to think outside the box. We are happy to be here. We are Zimbabweans. Personally, I'm a Zimbabwean. I know how to maneuver in certain environments. I take this as a learning curve in Zimbabwe. Every day we learn something new. Every single time there's a new challenge in the business, and we are weathering the storm as we go. I think the best challenge is, the best approach for any entrepreneur is never to give up. Give it your best shot, think outside the box, and always go out there to make a difference.
To our viewers of Entrepreneurship TV across the world, we have been talking to Benson Muneri. Benson Muneri is an entrepreneur who has managed to bring Barcelos to Zimbabwe. We've benefited a lot in terms of him discussing with us how he brought Barcelos. He has also taken this opportunity to share with us what are the future plans for Barcelos. Please continue to subscribe on our channel. Watch out for future interviews that we are going to have.